Ho ho and a third fucking ho for you. And if that ain't enough, folks, that's 3 more hoes than I got, so count yourself lucky. Hey there, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. We're looking today at the Sam Adams Winter Break Variety Pack for 2025. Sorry, guys. It took me a little while to get this out there. I know, it's before Thanksgiving. Yeah, if I push this out, I can get it posted before Thanksgiving. So you'll either be seeing this just before Thanksgiving or on Black Friday, depending on how fucking lazy I am this week. So anyway, I know it's still kind of early in the holiday season, but this has been out for a couple of weeks in other places. Here in central Maine, I have been checking at least twice a week for it at the local beer store. Damon's is pretty much all I got in this area, unless I want to take like an hour, 45-minute to an hour long drive to Bangor. It hasn't popped up. It hasn't been popping up in the local supermarkets or in the local convenience stores. So a quick shout out to Will H. Thank you very much, man, for giving me the heads up that this was actually on the Elm Plaza, Hannaford, before it showed up at the KMD, JFK Plaza, Hannaford. Elm Plaza's on Upper Main Street. JFK Plaza is on KMD, Kennedy Memorial Drive. Anyway, so thanks for the heads up. This was at Elm Plaza. I had to run out there and grab it real quick this week, and so we can hit it up and check it out. So what do we got in this pack? We've got the Winter Lager, which is a staple. It's fine. Old Fezziwig. So fucking happy that that's back and in a variety pack. Now, it's in a can, so it's not as good as in the bottle. There's always a slight difference, no matter what they say about how they engineered the can to not interfere with the taste. It still kind of does. But I still haven't found Old Fezzy in 6-packs this year. I know it's out there because they've said, Sam Adams has said they're putting it out, or the Boston Beer Company more accurately. So I'm going to grab some of those and rotate my stock because I still have 4 6-packs left over from last year because I'm worried that it's just going to suddenly disappear again like it did before. So I keep handful of Fezziwigs on hand. Anyway, so we're glad to see Old Fezzy back. Now they have the new cold brew coffee stout, and I keep going back to this one because I swear they've done a coffee stout for sure. Black and Brew, I think it was. Maybe I'm thinking about it, but anyway. Sam Adams has done a coffee stout before. I don't know if they've done a cold brew coffee stout, so we'll see how that goes, but it is saying it's new. And there's also the new Winter White Ale, which was inspired by, I think they said the Christmas White Ale that they did a little while ago. They're labeling it as new, but it sounds like it might be just a slightly tweaked recipe from that. So, we're going to start with the Winter White Ale because even though it's at 5.7% ABV, which actually makes it the third, okay. It's not the lowest. The Winter Lager's at 5.6, the Winter White Ale's at 5.7, Fezzy's at 5.9, and the Cold Brew is at 6. So under normal circumstances, we would drink them the higher ABV to the lower because that's your drinking strategy for the day. You don't want to start with your lower ABV beers and then ramp up the alcohol by volume because you're trying to taper off so that you don't get more drunk. But in terms of tasting, we would also want to go from lighter to darker unless there's a hoppy beer in the mix. Now, the Winter White Ale might be hoppy, so starting off with that might not be a good idea. But the thing is, you want to go from your less hoppy and bitter beers to your more hoppy and bitter beers, because the more hoppiness, or IBUs, International Bitterness Units, that'll wreck your palate faster than anything else. So you typically go, for tasting, light to dark, with hoppy beers being the exception at the end, because the darker beers are also heavier and will overshadow other things on your palate. So, all that being said, I know. If you guys have been watching these videos for a while, you've heard it 50 times before. But we're going to start with the winter white ale. Then we're going to go to the winter lager, hit Old Fezzy, and then cold brew. We're going to basically go from what I anticipate to be light to dark, because even though the winter lager is lighter than it used to be before they reformulated that, it's still a relatively dark winter beer. And I'm going to hope that the winter white ale is not too hoppy. 8 IBUs. I think we're in good shape. Ale brewed with spices, spiced and citrusy. Winter may be chilly, but this festive ale balances bright orange peel with holiday spices like cinnamon and nutmeg to warm up even the coldest temperatures and help you celebrate the season. So they didn't mention on here that it was inspired by their Christmas white ale. I believe it was the Christmas white ale. But they do say that it was inspired. Now, according to some sources, well, thanks for the heads up, it's basically the same beer. It's been a few years since that one's been out, so I don't know if I recall it with 100% accuracy, but we're gonna see. The cat's playing with her toys, the noisy ones, because of course I'm filming, so she's got to make noise in the background. That's okay. It is somewhat hazy and cloudy. It's quite effervescent. There's a nice cascade of bubbles coming up from that nucleation point at the bottom of the glass. That looks really nice. I get transfixed by this all the time, and just that haze and that tornado of bubbles. That's one of the reasons I use the Sam Adams Perfect Pint glass. It was specifically designed for Boston Lager, or what Boston Lager used to be. But it works really well for a multitude of beer styles, and instead of trying to get the perfect glass to go with that beer style, I just go with one that works with pretty much everything. So anyway, it's a beautiful beer. Even without the backlighting, there's a lovely cascade of bubbles coming up from there that just has my attention. It's got a light golden color to it as well. I didn't mention that with the haziness. I'm getting citrus for sure. And those slightly like a nutty / bitter holiday spices. They mentioned the nutmeg and the cinnamon there. And the orange peel. So it does have a really nice aroma. It's a distinct combination of those holiday spices and the citrusy character. With the citrus being predominant originally, now it's just kind of a decent blend, but it has a distinct aroma and a strong one. Nice medium to medium light mouthfeel, more of a medium light. All those bubbles that you see in the beer, they dance on the tongue, which is kind of neat. Easy drinking. The citrus isn't as pronounced in the flavor as it was in the aroma. I am definitely getting the distinct peel, that pith, that slightly bitter citrus, like fleshy character that you get from the pith of the orange, which again, it's peel, but there's some of that in there. And then like that, a distinct holiday spice character, although it's light. Everything about it is light, except for the mouthfeel, which again is medium light. So it's got some body to it, but it's just an overall pleasant, light, easy drinking, festive, winter style beer. I prefer my winter beers heavier and darker and with more character. Something that goes hand in hand with that light and dark character. So I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just, it's not quite what I want in a winter beer, but it doesn't quite not belong, you know? So it works. And it's definitely got some character. Again, I think, well, I think you were right. It is very, very similar to the White Christmas, or whatever that other one was called, that they say inspired it. In the sense that it's a winter beer, but it's a light winter beer. And again, it's just that typical holiday spice character with a hint of citrus. It's not standing out. It's not breaking the mold. But again, it's not entirely out of place in this pack. Just not what I would have wanted. I'm going to hit it with a 3.5 out of 5 because I can't find fault with it. And honestly, I am trying really hard because, I'm not happy with such a light beer being into winter pack. But as much as I like IPAs, it's better than cramming a light, hearty IPA in there, So I'm liking it. I'm just not blown away by it. I'm not terribly impressed, but I'm also not disappointed either. So it's just kind of there. On a scale of 1 to 5, a 3.5 is slightly above average. So take that for what it's worth. It's something. It's not bad. It's just not great. It's good. It's fine. There it is. I'm going to drink the rest of them easy enough, but they might wait until after the others are gone. We'll see how the winter lager does this year. And I tell you, the old Fezzi's going to be gone first. That doesn't matter what the other ones are like. Anyway, I'm going to finish this up, and we're going to move on to the winter lager. All right, next up is the Sam Adams Winter Lager, festive and smooth. 5.6% ABV, 22 IBUs. Lager brewed with clementine. Remember seeing clementine on it before. Lager brewed with clementine infused orange peel, cinnamon, and ginger. Okay. No matter what or how you celebrate, this spiced holiday lager's rich malt notes and accents of cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel are perfect for any festivity. So we swapped out the nutmeg for ginger in the winter lager. Now, as I said before, the winter lager used to be a darker, heavier, spiced holiday beer or winter lager. They lightened it up at one point. I don't know if they changed up the spice blend, but it's still relatively dark. It's almost amber in color, but mostly just a nice light brown. Clear, not hazy like the other one. Not that that matters. Haziness isn't like an indicator of flavor or anything. It's just a characteristic of character. Characteristic. Yeah, I'm not that drunk, folks. Sorry. It's been a week. Anyway, it's slightly effervescent. There's a few bubbles coming up from there. But again, it's a good-looking beer. It's got a nice color to it. I miss when it was darker, but this is what we got now. Just a general, like, slightly roasty beer aroma. I mean, maybe a hint of the cinnamon and ginger coming through. Possibly some bitterness from the orange peel, but not much. Not much. It's mostly just like a roasty malt aroma. Bit of a medium mouthfeel. Easy drinking. Just like the other one. Although it's got a medium mouthfeel, it rests heavier in the stomach than the mouthfeel would indicate it would. So it's got a filling character. And it's slightly warming. I mean, come on. You got a full belly, or at least when it feels full, you feel a little warmer, a little heavier, a little more like gravity's just going to pull you right down into the fucking floor, which, you know, that's kind of a common thing in the middle of winter. Brr. Excuse me. You just want to hit the floor and not get up. Okay, seasonal depression. Okay, maybe. Who knows? Whatever. It's just a general feeling sometimes. Anyway, it's been a long week, like I said. Yeah, I just want to hit the floor and not get up. Just stay on the floor. The floor has me now. I live on the floor. No, I am not slowly falling apart, folks. I am just tired enough that my internal monologue is external now. But distinct ginger and cinnamon character, a nice, slightly sweet, roasty, malty character. I mean, overall, like I said, the winter lager is not what it used to be. It used to be a darker, heavier beer with more of a winter character. This is still good. I do miss the old one, but this ain't bad. It's still one of the quintessential winter beers. Granted, like I said, I prefer something darker and heavier, but Sam Adams Winter Lager it still means winter, if that makes any sense. It's good. It's solid. It's there. We can look forward to it every year, and we know what we're going to get when we open the can or the bottle. It's not too crazy. I'm not picking up on anything else that I didn't mention before, so instead of repeating myself, I'm just going to end it there and say that this is a solid 4 out of 5 from me. I'm pretty sure I used to rate the Winter Lager higher when it was heavier, but again, not bad. Just not what I remember it was before, but it's still a decent, solid winter beer. So I'm going to finish this one up. We're going to get into the Old Fezzy. If you've watched more than one of these videos, you're not going to be surprised by that one. So, yeah. Anyway, Fezzy's next. All right. Old Fezziwig. Yes. Rich and spiced. Ale brewed with cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel. Hey, look, the same spices that we had in the last one. But they are definitely in a different combination here. 25 IBUs. 5.9% ABV. You know, depending on how bitter the cold brew coffee stout is, I might have actually done this in the right order for IBUs as well. But, alright, like the character that inspired it, this spiced ale is warm, festive, and worthy of a celebration all its own. Its full body accompanies a deep malt character, sweet toffee flavors, and rich, dark caramel. And I gotta tell you, host, there is nothing like Old Fezziwig. I believe, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, there was at least one other beer out there that I once tried. Another winter beer from another smaller brewery, well, not another, or a smaller brewery. I mean, can't really say the Boston Beer Company is a smaller brewery these days. That had a slightly similar character, but it wasn't. It's one of those things where, like, okay, it kind of reminds me of it. It's definitely not even close to being the same, but it kind of reminds me of it. It was a winter warmer from some other company, some other brewery. Anyway, Fezzy's unique. There's nothing else out there like it. I'm going to say I'm going to speak for a lot of Sam Adams fans right now. We were very, very disappointed when it disappeared altogether at one point. And we definitely have been asking for it in 6-packs for years. Consistently for the last 3 years, it has been in 6-packs. So they did listen to us on that, eventually. They brought it back, and they put it in 6-packs. And as far as I can tell, it's been selling well enough to justify them keeping it in 6-packs. Like I said, I still have a stash in the beer closet because I'm worried that it's going to disappear again, and I want to make sure I'm prepared for that eventuality. What I'm getting to here is that there is hope. There is hope for us to get the original Boston Lager back if we keep complaining enough. I still have 5 bottles of the original Boston Lager, and I did do a taste test a little while ago. The video's in the channel. It didn't skunk itself yet, so I've had it sitting around since just before you couldn't get the old Boston Lager anymore. Anyway, wow, I've gone off on a couple of tangents on this video, but you guys are used to that by now if you've watched anything on the channel. So anyway, given the old Fezziwig situation, there is hope for us to get the original Boston Lager back if we keep hammering them about it. Jim Cook's back in charge over there at Sam Adams now. He's the CEO again. If the other guys listen to us, maybe he will listen to us too. Hammer them. Hit them up on socials, Facebook, everywhere. Anything they post, remind them the Boston Lager sucks now. Unless you're one of those weirdos who likes it, in which case, sorry, we want the old one back. You guys can get like Neo Lager, Neo Boston Lager, or whatever. I don't care. Just give us the original one back. Anyway. Old Fezzy, I'm not getting very many bubbles, but that's okay. But it does have a unique dark brown color. They keep saying it's unique. It's almost like a toffee color in and of itself, but like a roasted toffee. It's got a slightly reddish tinge, but clear, not hazy at all. Doesn't need to be hazy. Nothing needs to be hazy. Some things just are. It just looks beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely beer. Again, nothing quite smells and tastes like an old Fezziwig. It's just this unique combination of those holiday spices. No, I wasn't looking, so I almost jammed it up my nose. And a slightly sweet character, slightly roasty character. You can tell it's got some malty goodness to it. Sweet and roasty. That orange peel is almost coming directly through. But all the different spices that are in there just combine to give you this one distinct aroma that, again, you're not going to get anywhere else. And yes, maybe I'm romanticizing the damn beer because I like it so much, but it, in my opinion, the aroma and the flavor are unique. 100%. Okay, gotta taste it. Like I'm really holding myself back that much. Smooth, nice medium mouthfeel. I think I've said they've all been smooth so far, but nice medium mouthfeel. Bit roasty, bit sweet. That toffee character that they mentioned is coming through, getting that distinct blend of holiday spices that, again, just produces this unique flavor that I can't necessarily put my finger on. If I stop and think about it, I can pick out the cinnamon, I can pick out that ginger, I can pick out that orange peel, but if you don't think about it too much, they just kind of come together and make that unique old Fezziwig flavor. It's almost got some character of like a dark brewed tea, a leafy character, which, you know, different for winter, and maybe a hint of smokiness in the finish. It's just is what it is. It's robust, it's complex, it's hard to describe. Excuse me, I'm doing my best, and I think I've hit, you know, a whole bunch of different, crazy flavor combinations, but you just have to experience it for yourself. mean, even the burps have a distinct character to them, and they're not unpleasant. It's just good. It's just good. Nothing says winter and Christmas and happy fucking holidays like Old Fezziwig. It's good. I love it. All on 5 out of 5. Full marks every time. Again, a big part of that is the fact that it is a unique beer. A big part of that is also that it is difficult to describe. And also the fact that it's perfectly balanced. It's got a little bit of everything in there. Yeah. I gotta stop because I've run out of things to say without repeating myself. So I'm gonna leave it at that. 5 out of 5 on the Old Fezzy. I'm gonna finish this up, and then we're gonna move on to the new cold brew coffee stout. One. All right, last one in the pack is the cold brew coffee stout. It says it's new. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they've done a coffee stout before. Black and Brew, I believe, was the Sam Adams one. I know they've done a chocolate bock and a cherry chocolate bock and maybe a coffee chocolate bock. No. Anyway, all good beers. But yeah, cold brew coffee stout, 6% ABV. 20 IBUs. Okay, so a little bit lower from the Old Fezzy. Stout with coffee extract added. Okay. Inspired by the espresso martini, this robust stout brings together beer and coffee for a rich roasted flavor and smooth finish. This bold brew is sure to bring extra cheer to every party. See, that's a nice, heavy fucking stout. This is a good winter beer. We'll find out in a minute how good it is, but stouts, porters, anything dark and heavy, especially when you add coffee, chocolate, etc., really, really work for winter. And it's not quite as dark black as I would have hoped for, but let's see how it looks in the glass. Got a good pour on it. I got a little aggressive with that, so of course I'm going to pour it. Nice head. Okay, there's not a lot of light coming through, but it is definitely a brown beer, not a dark black beer, which, is by the by. But your nice, dark, heavy, roasty black stouts are really cool. With the coffee in there, I would have liked a nice darker color, but whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. But there is very little light coming through, just enough for you to tell that it is slightly brown, not dark black. When I talk about the espresso martini, I'm not getting a really distinct coffee aroma off of it. Mostly like a roasted character. So in terms of the coffee, and this might be mostly because of the stout, who knows. But there's that deep roasty aroma. But it's not like a roast coffee bean aroma. It's on the edge of smelling like somebody burnt something. Which is fine. And get to the coffee machine at work where somebody spilled all that shit on the burner. You just scrape that shit up and lick it. Because that's where all the really concentrated caffeine is. They got rid of all the water, all the bean juice, all the other crap. That's just caffeine.
Person who doesn't drink coffee.
Oh, I don't drink coffee. But I'll eat the coffee scrapings. Because that's a fucking kick and a half. Anyway. Just smells like something that's on the verge of being burnt, but still just a roasted character. It's dangerously roasted. Medium heavy mouthfeel. Not as heavy as I would have expected, but just like the winter lager, it's lighter on the mouthfeel than it is resting in the stomach. That is sitting like a brick. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. It has a distinctly roast malt character. It definitely has. It's got a good graininess to it, like a roast graininess. The coffee flavor comes through in the finish for me. And it's like it sits there for a second, and then all of a sudden there's this coffee character. But a very heavily roasted coffee character. Again, it's almost too roasted. It's just on the verge of being burnt. Now that's excuse me, that's something, because you just brought it right up to the point where it might be unpleasant, but it's not. It's still good. Yeah. And that's kind of where it's at. It's like it just almost too roasty, stout and coffee character. The coffee is a little muted, but it's there. There's not much else to it, is kind of what I'm getting at. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it's not that complex. This is like a nice finishing beer. This is the end of the night. I'm almost too full to drink, and I don't necessarily want to get a good buzz on. I just want to have a beer drink. This is like the post-holiday, I'm stuffed from the big meal, I had dessert, and now I want coffee, but I don't drink coffee type of beer. It's going to have, at 6% ABV, it's not too heavy, but you're going to slowly drink it. It's going to rest heavy on top of that full meal, and it's not going to give you a buzz at that point because it's probably your first and only beer, but it's going to make you tired. I don't know. This is just the experience I'm projecting onto this beer, because that's where I imagine it being perfect. It's not a bad beer overall. I drink a few of these back to back, but it is very filling. It's quite filling. So there's 3 of them in this pack. I don't know if I drink more than 2 back to back, maybe 3, but it definitely belongs at the end of the line up for these 4, just for the fact that it's sitting so heavy and it is filling. And I know that goes against what I said before about lower AB or higher ABV to lower ABV, but honestly, 5.7 to 6, there's not that big of a gap between the two. It's good. It's good. It has a certain place. And it's kind of a one-trick pony. It has that one singular experience, which isn't a bad thing in a beer, honestly. But it's a cold brew coffee stout. There are a lot of cold brew coffee stouts out there. I don't necessarily know if I can... Off the top of my head, I can't think of any that are better. I know there are some that have other flavor combinations that are definitely better. I just can't think of them right now. And I got nothing bad to say about it either. I think for that reason, I've got to hit the Sam Adams Cold Brew Coffee Stout with a 4 out of 5. It's not blowing me away. It's not particularly impressing me. But without doing either of those two things, it's as good as it can get for being a singular experience beer. It's got that one flavor, that one characteristic, and it nailed it, honestly. But that's kind of the end of the experience for me. It's good, and I got nothing bad to say about it. It is what it is. It's simple. Again, one trick pony. But there's nothing wrong with that either. Okay, I'm going in circles. I stopped myself from doing that on previous beers in this pack, but anyway, it's solid winter pack. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to see some darker, heavier beers. Maybe, excuse me, winter lager kind of belongs in there. Old Fezzy definitely belongs in there. Don't ever get rid of it. Although, as long as you're offering Old Fezzy in 6-packs, I don't necessarily need it to be in the variety pack. I want it in there for the fact that it'll expose other people to it. So hopefully we'll keep those 6-packs selling. But at the same time, maybe we'll free up that space for something else. The cold brew coffee stout, wouldn't mind seeing it again. The lighter one, like I said, it's not out of place in the pack, but I'd like to see something darker and heavier. So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, the whole pack is good and solid as it is. It's good. I got nothing bad to say about the pack either. There's no losers in here. That winter white ale, again, little out of place, but not entirely. It works. All right. So that's what I got to say about the pack, about these beers individually. Hit me up down below in the comments or the email link. Love to hear what you have to say about any of the beers on their own or the pack as a whole. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.